should come to their senses. And we should go down the list. We've done it before. We talked about the hoaxes that have been portrayed against President Trump, Russia, good people on both sides. Go to the Capitol and fight instead of what he said, which was peacefully march over and then go home. The fact that they actually in New York convicted him of process crimes because they didn't convict him of raping a woman. There's so many cases against him. The RICO case down in Georgia, which was a sham as well. The Mar-a-Lago documents case where President Trump literally had the right to declassify documents, and the things that he had in Mar-a-Lago were classified documents stored next to unclassified documents in a heavily secured facility, his home, which was guarded by Secret Service. And they just wanted to have something to charge him with so they could raid his house. So they said he had top secret classified documents. What he had were napkins that people had signed, we love you, Donald, and they put their autograph on them, things that would eventually end up in his presidential library. And they were stored in boxes and they were under lock and key.
Hey, someone
returned at any point.
We just had Applebee's here in Huntington, Indiana. We just had a tornado come through.
And all it did was galvanize voters.
They were trying to make everybody go in the cooler here at Applebee's. So I was just grabbing something bite to eat after working. But I'm going to be following behind the storm on the way home. So
a lot of momentum there.
Should be fun.
Mar-a-Lago and everybody.
So I'm in no hurry to take off because it just blew over.
Trump or bust. If they wanted him not to be the nominee, that's the exact thing they shouldn't have done. And then don't forget that the Democrats are the ones who actually funded SPLC, funded Nazis, funded the KKK, funded white robes, funded cross burnings. They did that, not the Republicans. All right, good. More to come.
Yep. But there's like branches all over the parking lot here.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your
look at the branches everywhere.
Expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done with the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries,
I'm gonna make sure that my
services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000
do a quick
value
drive through the
extra
parking lot
cost.
here. Holy crap!
You could never pay
Big
for
tree here.
auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
See that when we get back, go back by.
3124. 800-458-3124. 800-458-3124.
Mailbox.
You're a business owner who's
laying on its side,
dragging their feet, mountains of paperwork and loan decisions based on your credit score. Listen up. Signet does business funding differently. Big banks care about forms, FICO scores, and waiting weeks for answers. Signet cares about one thing: your revenue. If your business is bringing in consistent income, you can qualify.
That one's still there too. Good.
No endless paperwork, no red tape, and you're working with real people who actually understand small business, not some automated system.
Yeah, I didn't go in the cooler. I went back there to tell them that it had blown by. It had already gone by. But yeah, I literally cut right across the street from us there. Look at this big mailbox is knocked over. There's a big tree right here.
Funding.com.
Not little tree.
Funding.com. No cost, no obligation.
Snapped it right off.
Application to see if you qualify. Fast funding, real people. Built for business owners.
More branches here.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Jason Walker. There's been another indication from President Trump the war in Iran may be ending soon. Here's Ed Donahue.
The president has said a deal would be done quickly before. Why is this different?
Because they've taken a pounding.
They've taken a pounding like very few people could take. The president talked about the high price of oil and gas because of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. When oil comes in, everything else comes down. And most importantly, we have a deal that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, which was the whole purpose of what we had to go through. Oh, shit. Believes Iran's supreme leader has signed off on a deal. Ed Donahue, Washington.
House Majority Leader Louisiana Steve Scalise tells the Salem Radio Network if leaders in Iran are smart, they will sign the deal right now.
And I think the Iranian leaders realize this is going to get worse for them if they keep playing this game. You do not want to test President Donald Trump.
Scalise says Tehran
Another tree knocked over right there.
If you mess with Donald Trump, it can get nasty.
If the Iranian leaders had some sense, they would get an agreement to stop a pursuit of a nuclear weapon and to end fueling terror around the world.
President Trump says he plans to nominate Jay Clayton as the Director of National Intelligence. Clayton would replace Gabbard, who announced her resignation last month. In Minnesota, a man who shot and killed the top Democrat in the Minnesota House and her husband pleading guilty so that federal prosecutors will not seek the death penalty. Severe storms that swept through the Midwest, knocking out power to hundreds of thousands of customers, damaging buildings and canceling flights in several states. And forecasters say overnight, now into Friday morning, there could be more trouble. More on these stories, townhall.com.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
When I was feeling the stress of too much credit card debt, I looked at two different options: debt settlement and debt management. They may sound the same, but guess what?
I'll knock that barricade over.
Seemed like a quick fix, but I found out it would destroy my credit, create tax headaches, and hit me with huge fees. They actually told me to stop paying my bills. No way, not me. Then I turned to a debt management plan developed by the team at Trinity. They worked with my creditors, lowered my payments, reduced my interest, saved me thousands, and paid off my debt. And Trinity is a Christian company, which is important to me.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990.
That's popping all over the place.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-990-6976.
The nation's first lady launching her Fostering the Future accounts. Here's correspondent Laura Winters.
Melania Trump making history, as this is the first time that a first lady is working with the Treasury Department to set up these accounts for foster children. So far, 23 governors have opted into the program.
Fostering the Future accounts give foster children the same chance for asset ownership and long-term wealth building as every other American child.
Laura Winters reporting.
Well, a judge in Michigan has recommended rejecting Consumer Energy's plan to actually sell 13 dams to an out-of-state private equity firm. Judge says the deal is not in the best public interest. That proposal involves selling the dams for $1 each and requiring ratepayers to buy back power at twice the market rate. Breaking news and analysis, Town Hall.
Christian, mother, wife, Air Force veteran, gun rights advocate.
This is Stacey Wright. Here's your host, Stacey Washington.
Thank you for your time tonight. It's hour 3, and I'm glad to have you with us. 866-957-2874 to join the program. We now are joined by Carson Holloway. So glad to have him back on the program. He's a department chair and professor of political science at the University of Nebraska, Omaha, Washington Fellow in the Claremont Institute Center for the American Way of Life. Carson, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Stacey. It's a pleasure to be back.
It's good to have you, especially on this subject. This is a very important story. President Trump had his case kind of stalled in court against CNN, and so he has appealed, and now the case is headed to the Supreme Court. So give everyone kind of a refresher on what this case is about if they haven't been following this.
Yeah, well, it's another defamation suit that the president's brought.
Jesus.
Obviously,
Look at all the debris. Oh, wow.
By the media, the only person we've seen for a very long time.
There's branches everywhere.
ethics and
Wow.
charge, but in some cases, he feels like they've stepped over the line and he's got a defamation claim. Right now, I think he's petitioning the Supreme Court for review and we'll see if they actually grant that. The problem, I think the deeper problem in our law at this point, over the last 60 years, really, stemming from New York Times versus Sullivan, it made it very hard for a public figure or a public official, somebody like President Trump, but many other people too, to sue in defense of their reputations. The modern libel standard, called the actual malice standard that comes out of New York Times versus Sullivan, says in effect that if you're going to prevail and you're a public official or a public figure more broadly, you would have to show that the publication was not only false and defamatory, which is what an ordinary person would have to show, but you'd have to show that it was published with actual malice, understood as the person that published it knew that it was false or acted with reckless disregard for its truth or falsity. This turns out to be very, very difficult to prove. The Supreme Court even admitted that that standard means, in effect, that some deserving plaintiffs won't be able to win. So, I mean, to sue in defense of his
I'm in no hurry.
the existing standard.
Get around 1 o'clock.
Ultimately, the argument
My
should be
time.
that the standard should be changed and returned to the Supreme Court started tampering with it in the 1960s.
That's actually extremely important. This is actually like it's really hard to explain to like a regular person how hard it is for public figures to protect themselves from being slandered and libeled because of that standard that you mentioned, that the kind of the case that basically dismantle all protections for anyone who's in the public space. It's
We had pretty much due east right now, northeast.
It's a target on your back if you're in the public space.
I'm going to probably catch up to it, depending on how fast it's moving.
Part of the reasoning for this that they developed in the 1970s, because they did this over a period of time. And
this guy's got his brakes on. That's really helping people. Jeez.
What they said in 1974 case, Gertz versus Welch, was that if you enter into public life or put yourself in the middle of public controversies, or if you hold public office, you basically consented to a higher risk of defamation, and therefore your reputation doesn't deserve the same protection as an ordinary person's does. I don't actually think that's true. I mean, I think it's accurate to say that anybody who goes into public life, obviously kind of tacitly consents to being criticized, maybe being ridiculed and having your ideas attacked, but that's not the same thing as consenting to being defamed by false.
Yeah, I'm right behind the major part of it.
So this kind of argument that they've made in defense of the standard doesn't really hold water to me. And it's really a departure from the older standards that we got from the founders and that prevailed for most of the country's history, which were more along these lines. I mean, the founders understood libel to be just outside the scope of the freedom of the press. It was something that was not protected. It was considered licentiousness or an abuse of the freedom of the press. And part of the reason I thought that way, by the way, is because they understood that people have a right to their reputation. An attack on somebody's reputation is an attack on their rights as much as theft or assault. So, yeah, the older standards were much more protective of reputation.
No, I'm driving into the back of it.
The understanding was, at the time of the founding, that if you publish something...
It just blew over. A tornado hit. I was eating a snack at Applebee's before I got on the road, and a tornado came right across the street.
That you publish it with actual malice. So the standard was a lot more strict.
So they said in northeast, that's the way I'm going too.
Publishing the truth before they publish something that would.
Yeah, it is. I already warned the wife. I'm gonna keep an eye on it as I go, though. Let her know.
Whereas you say,
make sure the dogs are inside.
Public figures or public officials, as long as they can at least claim that they didn't have this Supreme Court created actual malice, they'll be okay. By the way, if I could just say one more thing about that, it's a pretty extraordinary standard, to say that...
Meeting with a lawyer at 8 o'clock in the morning, too,
something that hurts somebody's
about business.
And it ends up being...
I don't know why I made it for 8 o'clock in the morning.
You can get away with that as long as they can't prove that you knew it was false, or that you acted with this reckless disregard. And that means you're basically free to be negligent, to be careless, to be indifferent to a fellow American's reputation. That's why.
Yeah, the power kept blinking out there at Applebee's. I'm like, well, if you want to, I'll pay my bill now. So, if the power goes out, I don't have any cash on me. She swiped my card, printed it out, set it on the bar, and she's like, I'm getting in the frickin' cooler, and she ran to the back.
So I just want to say, so actually I believe in holding elected officials accountable, but on the public figure side, I'm 100% in alignment with you, and it's been going. This has been going on so long. It's a travesty what people have been put through, and you know what it's ended up with? The result of this is that it's very difficult to get really good, competent people to run for public office. So we have a lower class of individuals in charge than we would have if we just had some normal, routine protections in place.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and I would say two things in response to that. One is that, the court extended this.
Yeah, it was literally, the rain was hitting the windows sideways. She literally boogied it, left. She's yelling to everybody at the tables, come with me, come with me. A couple people did. Us dumb people just stood there and watched it out the window.
There's one thing if you're a candidate for public office or if you're holding public office. There's one kind of argument for that. It doesn't persuade me, but to go even further and apply it to anybody who's a public figure, which is a very vague category, to include anybody who ends up in the middle of a public controversy practically, that's a big problem. But then the other point that you're making is one that's rooted, I mean, it's a great point, and it's rooted in the American libel tradition. One of the arguments that you would see judges making back in the 19th century in defense of the stricter libel standards that we had back then was just this very one that you made, namely that if you don't have some protections for reputation, then anybody who cares about his reputation...
I can't see the fucking road. Okay, here we go.
Then you're going to get an inferior class of people who are shameless, people who don't care about their reputation. That very point is made by the great William Howard Taft back in the late 19th century. He was a federal judge, of course, went on to be president of the United States and Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. That's how they tended to look at it. Or as another judge said in the 19th century, the public has an interest in knowing the truth.
Yeah, once it blew over, I walked to the back, and the guys, it's pretty much gone. I mean, the whole restaurant staff was in the cooler. I wandered through their kitchen.
Protecting against every kind of falsehood or error, because there's lots of mistaken things that the press might put out that doesn't hurt anybody in their rights. But if it's something that damages the right's reputation, we should make sure that it's true.
And then I remember when it used to be a really big deal to have to issue a retraction.
Yeah.
You could get the person.
It looks cold in there, guys.
And then they'd kind of be downgraded for a while. I don't mean they would be demoted, let's say, but they'd be downgraded. Like everyone would kind of be like, oh, you better double check that, because they issue retraction, that type of a thing. And then of course it would wear off because you're continually reporting it. That person would continue to report and would eventually, kind of, I don't want to say win back, but they'd be okay. And then you have this. now you just have, they put the retraction out. When they send out the tweet with the lie in it, 1 million people see it. When they send out the retraction, 100,000 people see it. And that's it. It's just like, okay, we did our due diligence, we retracted.
Need to,
yeah, that's right. I mean, this is...
Stop and get me a tea on the way home.
For a long time. But I don't know why it is, but human nature is such that people pay more attention to negative things than positive things. So, I mean, a retraction is a good thing, a good faith act, but it doesn't necessarily repair the damage that's been done to somebody. And again, the older Bible standards coming out of the founding generation, kind of, they're part of our Anglo-American heritage. The founders got these from the common law that came over from England. They all presumed that a reputation is a very precious
Don't stop
thing,
at Lowe's.
and that damage to the reputation is a form of
30 minutes away.
Person for which they deserve some kind of recompense. And I think, yeah, as you say, in many cases, the retraction doesn't really repair the damage.
So the big deal here is that the Supreme Court has to make a change. Now, you've talked to us about this before, and the update tonight is, do we have a case? I mean, we have this one. Is this the one that could actually have a reversal of the defamation rules as they stand right now?
Well, I don't know about that yet. I tend to remain guardedly optimistic because
I can't tell if this is the turning lane or
the modern standard is
going
not
straight
based
here.
on the original meaning of the Constitution or the original meaning.
That's where
of
my
the
night vision has gotten so bad lately.
1960s invention of the Warren Court. And we have, I think, a functional or operative originalist majority on the Supreme Court. They've said this in other contexts. In their interpretation of the Second Amendment, the Dobbs ruling, where they rejected Roe v. Wade. We've got to be guided by the text, original meaning, and history of the Constitution. So my contention would be, if they stick with that, they would need to rethink New York Times versus Sullivan. Would they do it? It's hard to tell yet. There are a couple of people who said they would. I mean, justices, right? Clarence Thomas, going back a few years ago, in a concurring opinion, in the denial of certiorari, raised the question about the constitutionality of the court's ruling, or the doctrine, rather, in New York Times versus Sullivan. Later, Justice Gorsuch followed up and also suggested there might be problems. So that's only two. You need, here's the rule, I don't know if many people know this, but this is a procedural rule of the Supreme Court. You need four. You need a vote of four. It's called the Rule of Four to grant certiorari and hear a case. Of course, you need five to resolve it one way or the other, because five's the majority of nine. You need at least four. So far, there's been two who've indicated a desire to revisit. So people are waiting to see. There are a couple of cases. There's a case involving Alan Dershowitz as well, in which he's suggested a challenge to the actual malice doctrine that the court has been considering. I imagine we'll know, by the end of June whether they're going to do it. If they don't do it this term, it doesn't necessarily mean they wouldn't do it later on. They might think that for whatever reason that these cases are not a proper vehicle for a reconsideration, or it may be that there's just not four to do it at this time. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, I'm pretty glad that President Trump is carrying on with the appeal, because without it, we can't have this conversation.
That's right, and he also did a very good thing, I think, when he first began to question the modern libel standards. He did that when he was running for president back in 2016, and provoked quite a bit of controversy. And then he said it again later on when he was in his first term, and provoked more controversy. And I think what he exposed is that the defenders of the Sullivan Standard tend to equate it with the First Amendment and act like any attack on it is an attack on the Constitution and on democracy. That's just not true, and it came out later on from people like Justice Clarence Thomas and Neil Gorsuch that there are not only politicians but President Trump who complain about the standard because they don't like the way they get treated under it, but there are serious jurists as well who see legal or constitutional problems with the doctrine. So, as I said before, Thomas and Gorsuch are only two, but these are very serious men, and they're respected by their colleagues, and so I'm hoping that some of the others will see it their way and at least think that it's worth it to revisit this question.
It is. It's worth it. I hope that...
Oh, Southern California?
Make us happy. Give us something. Give us something. We need something. Anything else, Carson?
Yeah, that's probably a big shocker then.
No, most of the stuff I've been working on for the most part, and those are the two cases I'm aware of at this time.
Rain's picking up a little bit. I think I'm coming into the back of it again.
Out there, Cash Patel, the director of the
kind of heading north right now, though.
2 weeks ago against the Atlantic. That was another kind of hit piece based entirely on anonymous sources. That one's just in the early innings, I think.
I don't know, hidden due east.
It's all in such a way that it could be appealed. But it's out there. And the other day, that the New York Times story, I think, based entirely on anonymous sources, critical of Bobby Kennedy Jr. and his conduct as head of HHS. So I don't know, I'm not saying that stuff there was just, well, it might be defamatory. I don't know. I don't know that he's going to sue about it, but he's basically saying he's bad at his job. And again, all based on anonymous sources. So I think with the press behaving the way it does, you're going to see more of these kind of cases.
Well, one of them's got to go up and bring us the reversal we're looking for. So that's what we'll have to continue to kind of press forward, be excited about, and hopefully see happen sooner rather than later, so we can get a better quality, a better class of elected officials, getting some good people in there. Because we have some good people. I'm not saying we don't have good people, but the people we have, they have to have like warrior strength, like the strength of David and the Bible. They have to, they just have to be aware of that. And for the ones who do really well, they don't have any skeletons in the closet. That makes it easier. But even so, what we're talking about tonight is more of the slander. It's more of them just saying, you did,
guys pull over the side of the road.
Horrible person, and the lies.
Horse trailer, oh, that's gonna
So
suck. Trying to haul horses, probably kicking the shit out of it.
That's really bad. The person who really doesn't have, I won't say they have no excitement. They're not a bad person in that way, but they're still painted in that direction. That's what really is keeping us away from the best people.
Yeah, and you already have to be tough enough to be in public life anyway because of the criticism, right? Nobody likes to be ridiculed or called an idiot or whatever based upon your policy positions, but that's going to happen. That's part of the rough and tumble of democratic life, but that's not any excuse for, like you were saying, false factual claims that are disgraceful or scandalous about a person. Those hurt a lot more. And I think you're right. Those are deterrents to public service that we shouldn't put up with.
Nope, we shouldn't put up with that. It's so great to have you back.
Yeah, I'm right behind the front.
You have given us so much to think about tonight. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
All right, have a great evening. You can find out more about Carson Holloway by going to dc.claremont.org. dc.claremont.org. 866-957-2874. 866-95-PATRIOT.
Mark Levin, as we moved into the constitutional period, the most important philosopher was Montesquieu, and he emphasized separation of powers. And he specifically talks about a judicial, that is judiciary, an executive, the president, and a legislature, of course, Congress. These are great men. They did great things. In the Revolutionary War, we lost more battles than we won, but we won the battles we had to win 250 years ago.
The Mark Levin Show, weekdays starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Patriot. Never gets old.
You don't hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you
Some nice lighting.
whether it's 5,000, 50,000, or 500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-4181. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-575-4181. That's 800-575-4181. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people. Isn't life just better with a dog? They're our companion, our comfort, our family. They sense when we're sad and stay close. They greet us like we've been gone for years, even though it's only been 20 minutes. Service dogs change lives. Therapy dogs, they heal hurt. Every dog makes our world brighter every day. Dogs give us everything they have.
Don't have to worry about bugs on the windshield though on the way back.
Give your dog their best life while feeding them food that's stripped out of all the life nutrition. That's why Rough Greens puts it all back. You simply sprinkle it on their food. It's packed with probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, and over 20 life vitamins and minerals. All natural, made in the USA, and hundreds of thousands of dogs now have more energy, better mobility, healthier from the inside out, and your dog can be one of them. Get a free toaster trial bag for your dog today. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com and use discount code BLUE. That's RUFGreens.com, discount code BLUE. Rough Greens, so good, your dog will ask for it.
can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. Your stay at the Eagles Hotel California challenge is extended. We're still here playing these songs. They have taken on a life of their own. Stories behind iconic Eagles songs, guest DJs, and a fan-voted countdown. Looking back, I wouldn't change a thing. Hotel California through June 18th, channel 105 of the Sirius XM app. Call 866-957-2874. This is Washington on Sirius XM Patriot 125. We stopped that from going to war with it. You landed in the war with us and for me.
You guys slipped through a crack in it. Let me see. I think it might be a heaven now.
Good to have you with us. And yeah, let's talk about the mass migration
Still behind it.
security
Head
risk
north
to
again.
the United Kingdom. So Belfast literally burning over a course of a few days because there were two attacks. The first attack, obviously this is an issue with migrant crime there. And apparently the migrants that are doing these attacks are entering the country illegally. And then once they've gotten in, they get free cards, pretty similar to what happens here in the U.S. They get free welfare, free medical, and then they're sitting around on their butts and they decide to go out and do a little crime. They're not panhandling, they're criminalizing the populace. So, after the second attack, you have this man, he's a white man, he's a natural born citizen there, is helping a migrant move into his apartment. And another migrant decides to take that man's head off, pushes him down the street, beats him up, and slices him in the neck.
That's good.
He's literally trying to remove his head from his
At least
neck.
it hasn't been
And
so hot this year either.
Bystanders stopped the attack.
We've had a few hot days, but
and then that's when the real fight started because the people.
This week was the first week I turned on my AC.
Migrants out of their homes and burning the homes to the ground. And the viral videos of individuals who've been interviewed by the news have said, we've tried talking to our elected officials and telling them to stop this. We tried everything. It's like leading a bunch of wolves into a lamb's pen. They come here, they get free everything, and then they start victimizing us, and there's nothing we can do to stop them. So now you have a bunch of individuals who are raging mad, and they're not going to take it anymore. They've been pushed past the brink. I don't justify it. I don't condone it. But that is what has happened. So President Trump was commenting on the national security risk posed by open borders. And the British government's top terrorist expert belatedly now has admitted that in the wake of this gruesome migrant versus native outrage and attack, riots have been triggered, and maybe it's because maybe some people are tired of the invasion. So you have senior lawyer Jonathan Hall. He has been the independent reviewer of terrorism.
About 15 miles from the Lowe's I normally stop at.
The independent reviewer of state threats legislation under the National Security Act of 2023. And he is now noting that mass migration carries a security risk. He says
oh, really? That sucks.
As a potential threat to the health of the nation. He was referring to the arrest of a Sudanese.
Yeah, it was pretty humid. We had to shut the windows and turn the AC on. It dehumidifies pretty good. The window unit, anyway. We don't have central air.
And first they were protesting, and then they were rioting, and now they have things being set on fire, and it's still ongoing. And Mr. Hall says that in the past, the British government's idea of security threats were generally focused on homegrown terror. but there has been an extraordinarily destabilizing influence of migrant crime, and that should force a rethink. And I have to tell you, he's right. So in Northern Ireland, you have anti-illegal immigration rioters clashing with police, setting vehicles on fire, burning down buildings. Now, what they want,
that's all we have too. I got an older ranch-style house.
Those people are
built in well, not that old.
Should you set things on fire?
77.
But these are people who, in their frustration, they've not been listened to.
It's all electric.
And
so it's got baseboard heat. It's not a good thing in northwest Ohio.
And they're ready to do pretty much
expensive to run.
To get that attention.
We do some renovations. I'm going to get central air and forced air. Pretty sure we're getting gas will be in our area pretty soon. Right now, my water heater is the only thing on gas, and that's LP. Slow traffic 1 mile ahead. Okay.
And the only way for them to get some recourse here is for the elected officials to get back to this stuff. It's going to stop this.
4.3 miles from when I get on US 24, so that pretty much directly goes northeast, heading for home. Wind there.
Mike, Florida. Hey, Mike, welcome to the show.
Okay. You know, I love me some Stacey Washington. I have Patriot Channel on 24/7.
Thank you. Thank you for keeping it on all day. Don't turn up to the other channels. Just only listen to us.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to say that, but I'm kind of embarrassed that it literally is on 24/7.
That's not embarrassing. We have good content. I put it on. I find myself having it on, and my daughter will say, "Oh, no, it's Patriot." I'm like, "Yeah, I am."
I wonder if I do wonder if all the hosts listen to other shows on their, days off, whatever. I'm sure you guys do, right?
Yeah, we do. I have to know what they're talking about. So the other thing is, so I can't listen to every minute of it, but I have a certain number of minutes every day. I've got to, like, if I don't do it, I feel like I've missed out. You know how it is, like, if all your friends...
I've heard about them.
And you weren't there.
I know they're not cheap.
Sometimes your friends are like, well, all we did was we just ate. And you're like, no, you guys talked about something. What was it? You want details. That's how I feel. I'm like, okay, well, I know they had a show. And I know they talked.
Honestly, I don't know where I would put it.
Stuff, but what actually happened?
We have well water, too.
I have to lock in, or I feel like I'm kind of floating out by myself.
Or if you're not with them for a while, you just fall right in place the first 5 minutes you do get together.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, there's no...
Like you aren't going at all.
No, I don't even think city water is available. We have fire hydrants, but no water lines.
We do have short memories. But for the past 10 years, the presidency was supposed to go to Hillary. Trump won in huge fashion, and they've been upset ever since. All right, the media is driving the left mad and crazy, and PBS and all that. And all they do is they come with platitudes and anger and violence, and
it must have been from earlier because there ain't no slow traffic here. I'm way over a mile since that sign.
Republicans, we bring receipts, facts, statistics, everything. All right, and the more we do that, the more it drives them crazy. They're not being driven by the media, but this has been on for the past 10 years, big time, because it was supposed to go to Hillary, and Trump won.
And now, I mean, they're sustained.
Well, that wind's blowing really hard right now.
Right, this is not.
No, it's not. But what else do they have left? They don't know how to act.
I'm looking.
They don't work on realistic facts. It's all platitudes, craziness, and socialism, and communism.
Ooh, look at that lightning. Yeah.
We have to listen every day. And I know I say this all the time. For 4 years, we watched people running through the border, and we were being told it was secure, closed.
Now here we are.
And what Mark Wayne was saying about all
And the Biden administration allowed this to happen because they want 20 million people here. Even if a third of them vote Democrat, Republicans are in trouble. That's why they want it to come. It's insane. It's insane.
It is insane. And so that's I think that's what like as you're talking and listening, I'm like, it just feels as if there's some kind of craziness going on. Like we can't.
It's kind of running right behind it because I was going northeast, but I'm going much more east now once I get on this freeway.
Actually started doing things right away.
More directly east.
And then they really didn't know how to handle it. So ever since then, they've been standing on the brake pedal, right, trying to stop us. Look at the Russia collusion. All right, this, that, everything. They threw everything at them. But you're right. If they did want to elect it, the last thing they needed to do was raise Mar-a-Lago.
They made themselves. They wrecked themselves. They wrecked themselves with that one.
And I want to say that was the day after he announced he was going to run again. The next day they raided Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, I was down there for the announcement. I was at Mar-a-Lago for the announcement, and his family, they filed in together. He gave a speech, called out some of the people who were there, and it was like the room was electric. The media was at the back. He said, "The fake news is back. We're back here at Mar-a-Lago listening to me. And they have to hang on my every word, but there's still fake news." And we were just roaring with laughter. And then that happened. And
wow,
I'm not kidding about
this guy's tarps are all torn off. I don't know if he realizes it.
Like, I love President Trump, but after what happened in J6, the Democrats are never going to let him back in.
That's
And I remember pushing back on that. I was like, do you think they're going to let DeSantis just coast into the White House because he's not Trump? No, they're going to take him and turn him into Trump. They're going to demonize him. They're going to rip him apart. They're going to try to tear his family apart. And people told me, they're like, Stacey, I know you were part of the 2020 campaign, and it's kind of hard for you to hear, but this is something that we need to let go of. And I was sitting there stunned. I'm not talking about like never Trumpers. I'm talking about people who were diehard for Trump in 2016.
Oh, yeah.
They're good, they're good conservative folk. They're some of them are not as political.
Well, there's Trump around. He's got a radio.
These are decent people.
A lot of semis don't even use their CB anymore.
I told my husband, I was just
Unless they're
talking
in
to
trouble.
a friend, and she said that it's time to move on from Trump. And he was like, what? Move on from Trump? I'm like, yeah. And then the raid happened.
Right.
In the raid, it was almost as if I could feel the shift. It was almost like someone had slammed their hand down on that big easy button. And I think Staples used to have the easy button commercial, and you could hit the button and everything would be easy. And it was like, and obviously it wasn't easy for President Trump from there to run. They tried to kill him a few times, but it made it so that no one was willing to let go of him because the assumption was, we've raided his house, we've trashed his wife's multi-million-dollar wardrobe, we looked at her underwear, and we even went in the son's room and trashed that too. This guy can never be president. And everybody was like, yeah, he can. You know what? Even if they weren't for him before, they were like, I'm for him now, and I'm never going to stop. It was great.
Yeah, it was great. That really fired a lot of people up. That and the Damon brother, when he stood up and said, fight, 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 he won the presidency right there. Again, people have had it, Stacey, by that point. They have had it. The government, the deep state was exposed. The Democrat corruption was exposed prior to that, but that really hit home for everyone. He got reelected on that day. Yeah. And I go back to the media. The media drives this. They've been driving it for the past 10 years. They loved Trump before he ran in 15. They drive this. The platitudes. He's Hitler. He's this. He's that. He's fascist. If anyone's fascist, man, it's the other side. I'll never forget. Every day, my workers sat there and said the border is closed and secure, as hundreds of thousands of people were running in.
A day. Remember at one point it was 14,000 a day. 14,000. It was like, we didn't have that many people in our town. We didn't have 14,000 people in the town I'm living in. And that was it was like an open door. And we're all just sitting here paying our taxes like groups.
And we were exempt from the shot. They were exempt from getting the COVID shot. They were just allowed to come in. Yeah, they didn't have to get a shot. And we were kicking military personnel out for refusing the shot. We were letting illegal immigrants in without a shot. So there's a lot of this.
That kind of slipped through a crack in it.
In the smaller elections, I think we don't show up on voting day because we're busy, man. We're busy working. We're busy with families. We're busy doing things. That's not a good.
Oh, he did? Yeah.
You know,
yeah, you just don't see people using them that much anymore.
Local, state, the bigger elections too. I agree. Got to win the midterms. Got to keep this train rolling. It's doing good.
No worries. Thank you.
Supreme Court's decision against the tariffs, that kind of set us back a little bit. And the Russia-Ukraine war, I wish you could have ended that. But, we got a lot on his plate, though.
Well, for somebody who's supposed to be Putin's puppet, this sure isn't going the way it should. Because if he was the one who was doing whatever Putin wanted and they had some kind of deal, then Putin would end the war. He would cooperate with Trump. And then that would make it possible for him to have a good midterm easily. I still think we can have a good midterm. It just won't be easy. But yeah.
It is a good midterm. Have some good things happen. Gas prices down, inflation going down.
How's this?
Good things, good positive vibe, and we'll secure the midterms. Good luck to Elon Musk tomorrow. SpaceX is going public. 9:30 in the morning. Yeah.
Ooh, it's gonna be a day. It's gonna be a wild ride.
This guy's fucking roaring up behind me. I'm slowing down for the truck in trouble.
Eating your
fucking
vitamin
idiot.
C, eating your grapefruit to keep your blood pressure down. If you're
go get you some Storm.
Put your money. You set up your buys, everything. You got your stuff going on. If nothing else, you can watch all of the crazy because it's going to be crazy tomorrow.
It's going to be crazy. I'll have Fox Business on. Waiting for the open bell. 9:30. It's going to go off.
I'm going to have dueling screens, but I got to listen to this to keep up with what people are saying here, and then I got to have my screen on so I can watch, because they have the ticker at the bottom and I can see what's going on. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I will take my breaks to go outside and get my vitamin D, get out and smell the fresh air. But it's going to be a wild day tomorrow.
Yeah, good things are happening, man. Good things are happening. Hopefully, we can sign, a deal with Iran and just get back to normal. Get back to normal, and everything will be humming right along. Keep this economy buzzing.
I agree.
He deserves it. Trump deserves it.
He does. He deserves it. We deserve it. America deserves it. Democrats don't deserve it, but they should get some of this goodness anyway. Just get it. Get it, Democrats.
Yeah, they don't like it. They can leave. They're free to leave.
Well, did you see that survey? 55% of them want to live in another country. They don't want to live in America.
Free one-way ticket.
Hey, you know what? We're giving the tickets to the illegals to fly out. We might as well let anybody who's a Democrat who wants to fly to a foreign country and live. But the problem is they don't know how well they have it. They get over to the UK or get to Germany or the Netherlands, and they see how much smaller the houses are and how none of them have air conditioning. Also, most of them don't have dryers. I'm talking about clothes dryers. Oh, and none of the Europeans have any concept of ice. I'm talking about the nugget, because we in America, we each have our favorite kind of ice. Nugget. Some people like ball ice. The first time I met a lady, she was like, I don't drink anything unless it has ball ice in it. I was like, ball ice? She said, yes, ice in the shape of a ball. Have you not had it? I was like, I guess I haven't. She said, you have to go to this restaurant and they only have ball ice. So, of course, I tried it. I thought it was good, but it didn't do like what it was doing for her. Yeah. But the classic is everybody who gets their Diet Coke from McDonald's, and they get that with they have a special nugget ice at McDonald's. I think they're the only ones that have that specific machine. And then, of course, you can get the nugget ice maker for your house if your refrigerator doesn't make it. Just the fact that I'm talking about this proves I'm an American, because you don't even get ice in drinks in Europe. Like they just give you a cold drink. No ice. The drink is cold, but Well, room temperature, or if it's cold, there's still no ice in it. And we here, of course,
Yeah,
we're
man,
getting
what's
24
came through here
ounces.
already? There's
Over there, they're getting a glass.
the window washers are all strewn around.
For refill, they look at you like you're crazy. Like, why would you need that much liquid? So I just want the.
All right, I'm gonna grab something to drink real quick. I'll be back.
I want them to be forced to go live in the country they think is the best, most liberal, the utopia that we need to emulate. Go live there, and they have to live there for a year. You can't stay for 30 days, Mike. You can't go and, I've been here for 2 weeks. No, you are forced to live there for a whole year and make it. Pay that $8 a gallon gas, ride public transportation, live with all their migrants.
The people that are complaining, okay, are the people that have never been out of their county, let alone their state. All right. And just like Bobby was talking about last night, the professional athletes that are bashing our country and won't stand for the national anthem. Are you kidding me? They're making $80 million a year. You want to bash the country?
And in their own country, they would only make $100K if they made that much.
Yep. Wow.
Now, they do have those beautiful old buildings, okay? They have those beautiful old buildings. They have that. I mean, I've been to a lot of castles as a child when I was growing up in Germany. My dad was in the army. I've been to a lot of castles. It's magical. But you know what else is magical? It's hot in St. Louis right now. It's in the 90s, but feels like 100. And you know what's magical? I have dual AC in this house. And so one side stays icy cold, and this side over here, because I'm over here all day, I keep this side at about 71. But when I feel even the slightest, like if there are beads of sweat, any kind of heat at all, then I go right over to it and I just press it down to 69. And I feel that cold, it's icy cold in here. And then I just press it back up. I can do that all day. I can do it at night. I can do it anytime I want to. I can make it icy cold in here. For a time last year, I was so warm all the time. It was 65 in here. My husband was like, I'm dying. And I was like, put some clothes on. I did that last summer because I just needed it. And I was swimming and everything. I was going out in the pool. I'd come inside. He's like, aren't you cold? I'm like, no. And I turned it down. And he was like, you can't make it that low. We used to argue at it. Now he noticed, he's like, something's changed. You got the air up on 71. I was like, it feels good, doesn't it? He's like, yes, it feels good. And also our bill is lower. So I'm just telling you, these are things I can do.
And you probably got a big old wood burning fireplace because you're in Missouri.
I do.
Right? For the wintertime. Yeah.
And I have a gas fireplace. I mean, there's what else have we got? I have the solar lights up on high on the far edge of our property so I can see the landscaping at night. There's just all kinds of stuff I'm doing that I can't do anywhere else. I just can't do it in Europe.
We're so spoiled.
I know.
We're so spoiled. And you know what else we have? You know what else we have? 24-hour convenience stores.
Oh, yeah.
24-hour. What, you're thirsty at 2 o'clock in the morning?
That's right.
Go to the store. You can get whatever you want.
Do you wake up in the middle of the night and remember that you don't have any half and half? Guess what? You can go to the gas station and get not just half and half. You can get actual creamer. You can get sugar. You can get cinnamon. Feel like making a latte? You can get the instant coffee, the ground coffee. You can get beans at the convenience store in the middle of the night. If you just wake up and you want some ice cream, you can get charcoal. That's true. You can get wipes. You can get. Do you need cleaning supplies? Do you feel like cleaning in the middle of the night? Go. You can get that. In Germany, the stores close at 6 and then they close at 8 on Wednesdays. I don't know if that's still the case. When I was growing up, I marveled. We came back for the summer. It was my first time thinking about going. My mom was like, "Oh, while you're out."
An engine brake.
My dad's taking his sister back over to her house, and she says, "While you're out there, pick up." And she named off 3 things. I said, Mom, where's he going to get that from? Everything's closed. She said, oh, no, we're in the U.S. Everything's still open. I went with them. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, the wind is blowing outside.
Open at night. He's like, that's just how it is here. Everything's open all the time. I was like, wow. Where have I been in my life? I'm an American. I should know this. And so this is what we take for granted, that we can do anything all day and all night. You know what? I saw a post. It's gone viral. Hundreds of millions of people have seen this. Some guy named Freddie, he's a soccer player. He's been in America since the run up to the World Cup. He's like this. He said, this is a gas station. He showed a picture of Buc-ee's. He said, it's unreal. This is a gas station. It's open 24 hours a day. He's taking pictures of things that we take for granted. He's like, this is my hotel room. And everybody is like, in the comments, like, what? They're putting you up like that? He's like, all of us are staying in this hotel. all of us have these rooms to ourselves. We each have a room to ourselves. He's pointing out, they had a 1 hour walk from their hotel to where they had to be that day. And the lady at the front desk realized that they weren't going to catch an Uber. So she grabbed one of the shuttles for the hotel and told them to pile in and drove them, because obviously an hour walk, she drove them there in 15 minutes. And he took a picture of, the back of her, and he's like, she drove us. We're not paying. She's just said, I have a shuttle, I'll take you. She left the front desk, somebody else, manned it, and he did me the picture of her, and she's got great, she's a black lady. And he's like taking her, he's like, she's driving us for free. He just hasn't even begun to understand what all we have going on here, if he's talking about that.
Stacey, we take a lot of things for granted. Again, these people that are complaining about this country have never been out of their own county. And you're right. A penalty, well, you know what? They should have to go overseas or whatever for at least
Cuba.
12 months. Absolutely. If you don't have a family, if you're not married with a kid or two or not full-time college, go overseas for a year. Or go in the military.
Oh, well, see, but the only thing about being in the military is you go in the military and you still have your American luxuries, because even Army bases are like little Americas, right?
Right.
I do think you get more perspective, because the military will make you travel. It's not like you get a choice. You get orders, you're going. And then when you get there, you do notice the difference between on base, what all is going on, and what's going on off base. And you kind of have to take in the culture. It is a good second choice, but the first choice, the reason I'm married to that one, is because the military supports you. You have command sponsorship. You have a green ID card if you're on active duty. Those are some pretty strong privileges. You go overseas by yourself, and you're staying in hostels, and you're not staying in hotels if you're on your own and you don't have a job. You're staying in hostels. You're backpacking. You're taking public transportation. You're going to learn pretty quick. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And they don't have any customer service either. That's the big deal.
Yeah, you're going to learn real quick. And the bathroom, you can just drop them off in the middle of Gaza.
Oh, come on.
For a year.
The edge. Drop them in the Gaza envelope. Don't even take them all the way into Gaza. Put them in the Gaza envelope so they can hear the IDF operating and blowing stuff up and not know which way to go. They'll be like, what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah, you got a choice. Maybe we drop you off in the middle of Gaza or Lebanon. Your choice.
Right. Oh. You're amazing. Thank you for calling in.
Love the show.
All right. Good to talk to you. Mike is in Florida where the weather is fine. I didn't even ask him because I already know. And I'll be there soon. I'm on my way back there. I'm planning and plotting my return. We'll be right back.
Breitbart News Daily with your host, Mike Slater.
Breitbart News Daily, the power of Breitbart News with an emphasis on the good, the beautiful, and the true. I'm Mike Slater. We'll see you every morning right here on Patriot 125.
Breitbart News Daily, weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Patriot 125.
Larry Elder here. For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we were meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if everyday aches and pains are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from pain. Relief Factor is a
I was getting back on the road.
Free, research-based formula designed to help your body fight inflammation, one of the root causes of pain. It's not
look at all these trucks parked.
It works from the inside out at the source. Relief Factor was created so people could get back to living life on their terms, walking, working, exercising, and enjoying the moments that matter. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own
car on the side of the road.
I've reported a car on the side of the road. Thanks. Commemorate, we're offering a special patriotic price, just $17.76. So you can declare your independence from pain and take your control. Your 1776 3-week quick start is ready for you. Visit relieffactor.com. Relieffactor.com.
So we're about an hour from home, so.
The number 4 relief.
With the high price of new and used cars today, many drivers are choosing to keep their vehicles a lot.
I think we're going to slip through a crack in it. Once I get up to speed, I'm going to double check weather radar again.
I'm Danica Patrick. If your car is out of warranty, a single trip to the mechanic could cost you thousands. That's why smart drivers choose Endurance. If your vehicle is less than 20 years old, No matter the mileage, Endurance could have your car covered for the drivetrain, electrical, AC, transmission, and more. And Endurance is with you every step of the way, from filing a claim to paying the mechanic of your choice directly. And your rate won't go up no matter how many claims you file. Call Endurance now and choose the plan that fits your budget. Act now and get 1 year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value free.
For your fast free quote, call 800-458-1375. 800-458-1375. 800-458-1375. Coverage varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com.
She was the sister who went unnoticed. A daffodil might look plain next to a lily, but on its own there is much to be admired. Now, her greatest chapter is yet to come. The most important thing is to be yourself. From the world
Yeah, I'm
of
gonna
Jane Austen's
catch a
Pride and
crack
Prejudice
in
comes a new BritBox original drama,
Get lucky.
Harry, Duke of
Why is this guy on the left-hand lane?
The Other Bennett Sister, now streaming only on BritBox. Watch with a free trial at BritBox.com.
Never gets old. Celebrating America 250. Music that makes you 125. Missed any of the show? You can catch up on the SiriusXM app. This is Stacey on the Red on SiriusXM Patriot 125.
Back in Ohio. Phone's down while driving.
So, there's nothing better in life as a radio host than to talk to super power listeners like Mike from Florida, because he's not only listening to all the shows, but he has a direct contact relationship where he calls in and he's talking about how he was talking to Matt Boyle. Well, first of all, one of the most fun things in the world is to talk to Matt Boyle. That's the first thing. I don't know if I've ever told the story. I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. Early in my career, before I was ever on radio, I had just started my Twitter account. I met Matt Boyle at a conference, and he was being swarmed by everybody in the room wanting to talk to him. He was on his panel that just brought the house down. And so when I got my chance, I walked up to him and I introduced myself. And he said, what do you do? And I said, well, I blog. He said, where? And I was like, just at my own website. And he said, do you have a card? And I was like, no. And he said, you need to get a card, because he said, I want to connect with you. So we exchanged cell phone numbers. So I've had his cell phone number for like 15 years. And on a few occasions I've called him, he actually answers on the phone. That's how great he is. That's how great people are here. So have a good night. Have a good weekend.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-619-6488 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-619-6488. That's 800-619-6488. What do you have to lose? Call 800-619-6488. Again, 800-619-6488.
So when I ask, what is Odoo? What comes to mind? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, some people also say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
How lucky I'm going to be.
You could look at Odoo.
See where I'm at? I'm heading northeast. I'm at the blue dot. I'm heading northeast. I'm gonna split right through it.
HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So, what is Odoo? Well, I guess Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is fertilizer magic beanstalk building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it. Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Celebrating America 250. SiriusXM Patriot 125.
Producer prices climbing last month, the fastest rate since November of 2022. Here's correspondent Laura Winter.
The Labor Department says the producer price index jumped 6.5% from a year ago. The price of gas up by 23% from April to May. Economists say uncertainty over oil prices because of the ongoing Iran war is what's impacting the numbers. No doubt, President Trump wants the war to be over as we are just 5 months out from the critical midterm elections, which will determine the balance of power in the House and Senate. Laura Winters reporting.
Changes across the pond. The UK Defense Minister John Healey has suddenly resigned, saying the government is not willing to spend enough on the military at a time of rising threats. Healey says the British government's defense investment plan, he says it calls for well short of what is really needed at this dangerous time. A guilty plea in a deadly shooting in Minnesota.
Vance Belter was charged with murdering Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, and shooting State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette. Belter came to the homes disguised as a police officer and driving a fake squad car. U.S. Attorney Daniel Rosen says the guilty plea was in exchange for dropping the death penalty.
To ensure that he never sees freedom again in his entire life. That was an opportunity that we just could not pass up.
Friends describe Belter as an evangelical Christian and occasional preacher who had struggled to find work. I'm Ed Donahue.
Health regulators say they're raising questions about a decision to authorize fruit-flavored e-cigarettes for adult smokers. FDA document shows adding flavors like mango and blueberry didn't help smokers to quit when compared with older tobacco-flavored vapes. More on these stories, Town Hall.
Maybe this is you too. There's enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It is amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years.
But I've been using flavored vapes
and it just keeps getting worse.
for almost 2.5 years since I quit smoking.
So in demand right now, people are looking for alternatives, and Medishare is proven you can save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Over 1 million Americans are now part of healthcare sharing, and Medishare is the gold standard. It's trusted, it works, it's been helping people save money and have peace of mind now for 30 plus years. It's not some big impersonal thing either. It's a community of people like you helping each other. So yeah, if you're frustrated too, here's your chance to make a refreshing change. You'll notice the difference as soon as you call. They're easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE. 844-41-BIBLE.
The opening of a Canadian-U.S. bridge across the Detroit River that President Donald Trump previously threatened to block has been delayed due to outstanding issues. Here's Bernie Bennett.
In a statement released Thursday ahead of a Friday ribbon-cutting ceremony at the bridge, the Winter Detroit Bridge Authority says, quote, Canada and the United States have agreed to delay the opening of the bridge, taking necessary time to resolve any outstanding issues. The Gordie Howe International Bridge is jointly owned by Canada and Michigan and was expected to open to traffic later this month. The Republican U.S. president in February demanded Canada turn over at least half of the ownership of the bridge to the U.S. federal government. Bernie Bennett reporting.
Elon Musk rocket company SpaceX making its debut on Wall Street Friday morning. Investors are expected to quickly grab the 555 million shares going at, or make that 135 apiece. Breaking news and analysis now.
We, the people of the United States, in American history.
June 14th, 1777, the Continental Congress adopts the Stars and Stripes as the official flag of the United States.
On June 10th, 1752, Benjamin Franklin flies a kite during a thunderstorm, helping demonstrate the connection between light and electricity. Counting down to America 250. Those is exit Detroit 125.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
VA.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those qualifying.
Running a business is hard enough, so why make it harder with a dozen different apps that don't talk to each other? Introducing Odoo, the only business software you'll ever need. It's an all-in-one, fully integrated platform that makes your work easier. From CRM, accounting, inventory, e-commerce, and more. And the best part, Odoo replaces multiple expensive platforms for a fraction of the cost. That's why over thousands of businesses have made the switch. So why not you? Try Odoo for free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
This is Dr. Dino Prado, founder of Invita Medical Centers. Every day, patients lose their lives, not just to cancer, but to the delays in the system. The latest treatments often take decades to reach the people who need them the most. At Invita, we refuse to wait. Our destination center brings the best technologies from around the world with personalized care to help our patients. Because care delayed is care denied. Every patient deserves the right to fight. Invita Medical Centers, we're here for you. inDOCtriNATIONlive.com.
Ooh. It's really going off to my left.
Here, our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. Well, we have a deal, I think. A deal before a deal. Remember, this deal is a memorandum of understanding of sorts for 60 days more to go.
Oh, did they? Good.
Not a single person talking about this right now knows what's in the deal, other than certain news reports and certain aspects that leaders are.
Oh, shit. Super windy. I'm seeing things to the left here that look kind of creepy. Yeah, you can see little funnels coming down. They're not touching down, but they're spinning down in the lightning over there. Oh, yeah.
To me, it's always been about enforcement. And the question isn't enforcement in the next year, 2 or 3 under the president, because I think he would enforce it. The question is the enforcement 4, 5, 10, 15 years from now. That's the issue with me. Because we know that this regime is a terrorist regime. We know that it's never abided by a single agreement it has ever signed of any kind. We know that after last
I wish it was daytime and I could really see this.
Sites, they immediately began rebuilding their nuclear program, rebuilding their ballistic missile program. And as I've said over and over and over again, even if they sign an agreement, and even if the agreement is the greatest of any agreement that's ever been written, they have no intention of complying with it. Because they exist. They exist to destroy you and me. They exist to destroy the West. They exist to destroy anything.
Oh, wind! Holy crap!
That doesn't comply with their fundamentalist 7th century primitive ideology. That's why they kill their own people who dare to raise even questions and rape them and torture them. That's why they funded Hezbollah, which has killed our people as has Iran, our Marines,
our embassy personnel.
Jeez, fucking wind is blowing.
And they're home teams.
Yeah, I'm doing under the speed limit.
But why should I? You know exactly what I'm talking about. So the question is, what's in the deal? That would be helpful. You think this would, is it? And what's the enforcement mechanism?
Oh, yeah.
And is it an enforcement mechanism
It is
that
nasty
would
over
be
there. Here, let me.
against this after the Trump presidency?
Look at this.
You know, if a Democrat president, it won't be. In fact, they might rip up the whole deal. It should be a treaty, but it's not going to be.
That lights up. Look, oh, you can see it. You can see the funnel. Lights up enough.
He has said it's a deal that needs to come before Congress. Graham is right. That's what the Constitution provides. The question is, will it? And remember, whatever we do,
those trees are in the way.
Or don't do, will be noted by the Democrats, and they'll do the same thing. Especially if it means skirting the Constitution, okay? So
Poor dog. Oh, you could see it real good for a second there. More trees. Damn it.
As I understand it, another 60 days of negotiation. We also read some reports indicating that many of the countries have agreed to it, didn't even know that it was agreed to yet, including the state of Israel.
Yeah, you can see it. Wind.
It was negotiated by Qatar, I believe, as a mediator.
It's a few miles away, so that's crazy. Yeah, I'm really shooting right between the little gap in the front there, like I showed you. Let me pull it back up just to make sure that I'm through it. Got lucky. Refresh.
Turkey is a role in anything. Erdogan is a genocidal maniac.
That's fucking nuts. Look at that gap. I'm going northeast right through it. That's what I'm seeing though. That red blotch just north of me. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh wow. You can really see it.
I am telling you right now that the enemy will not comply with it.
We're gonna get ahead of it, so I'm gonna be able to make sure the doggos are in the house.
Putting everything else aside, I don't want our kids.
Man, it's moving fast though. It's almost keeping pace with me.
It has 10,000 ballistic missiles and does in fact have the ability to put nuclear warheads on those ballistic missiles that will be able to reach our country. Maybe at some point hypersonic missiles. I don't know. Because this is a regime that will use them. The president has said it, and the president is correct. But what I see here is this president unique.
I'm doing a little bit over the speed limit now. Oh, nice funnel.
Courageous beyond all the others before him has brought us to a point where we can destroy the regime. In fact, the bombing of the last 2 nights demonstrated it. And you know what's interesting? The first night of bombing, Iran started firing ballistic missiles at some of the Arab countries, but it didn't fire any additional ballistic missiles at Israel. Why was that? Because they knew Netanyahu would stand for it. That's why. So here we have him over a barrel, so to speak. I know we're worried about the price of oil. I know we're worried about the stock market and all these other things. But what this demonstrated to me...
Yeah, we're outpacing the worst part of it.
In the last 2 nights in a row, look how quickly we can bring them to their knees. Look how quickly. Imagine if we were going to knock them out. Imagine if we were going to knock them out. Imagine if we armed the Iranian people. The president talks about the Kurds, and he's not had very nice things to say about the Kurds. Well, arm the Iranian people after half a century of having intelligence.
Oh, that's crazy.
Other countries that have intelligence, so we know which Iranian people might want to be armed and coalesce. We might even know how to break into the army itself and create various factions. And I'm not talking about the
Andy No follows those guys quite a bit. You should check out his Twitter.
So people are talking about, isn't it great we have a deal? We don't even know what's in the deal. But from my perspective, the president will do what the president thinks is right. He's brought us to this point. I just feel like we've been on the 5-yard line for 9 weeks. And to me, it underscores the fact that rather than the ceasefire, we should have continued, we should have finished them off. I'll be very curious to see how this MOU treats Hamas. If Hamas is brought within the MOU, as Iran wants, then you know it's a complete loser deal. Hamas has killed our Marines, our soldiers, embassy staff. You know, prior to 9/11, Hamas was the biggest killer of Americans, period, in terms of terrorism. And Hamas is Iran. Hamas has destroyed Lebanon, Lebanese people, want them out. The Israelis want them out because they keep shooting missiles into Israel and killing their people. And of course, the Iranians, the people of Iran, they want them out too because they know this is the most important arm of the Iranian regime and they want it to survive through the process. So there's a lot to look for, there's a lot to talk about. I just think that my basic premise, this regime cannot be trusted. And in the next 5, 10, 15 years, it will break out.
He's in a hurry.
Prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, where's the evidence anywhere that I'm wrong? Where's the evidence anywhere that they will adhere to an agreement? In the out years, certainly. Where is it? They're going to defy
that is true.
For existing, which is to impose their will, especially in the United States, the big Satan. They know we have election cycles. They know what the Democrats think. They know what isolationists think, what the weasels think. They don't think we have the will to enforce this, certainly not after Trump. And I have to tell you, I don't think we do. Certainly the Democrats don't. They're busy nominating Nazis and Marxists and Islamists with ties to Al-Qaeda. I mean, they're out of their mind. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm John Kasich, former Ohio governor. I have a brand new show on Sirius XM. I think I need to bring a little hope to the country, and we will talk about politics, a little bit about faith. We're going to talk about culture, and that could be anything from a great rock star to a priest to who knows. And at the same time, discover some meaningful.
Big old flag flying there.
As we go forward each and every.
Oh, that was a pretty shot.
Kasich Show on POTUS channel 124 and anytime.
That was a nice shot. Lightning.
I'd like to tell you about Perella Collision. The Perella Collision staff are trained and insured to repair Bentleys, Rolls-Royce, Lamborghinis, or any other high-end luxury vehicles. We service accidents from all over the country. Maintain your luxury vehicle's warranty with our professional team. Visit JoePerella.com. That's JoePerello.com. That's JoePerello. And click on Perella Collision or call us at 312 BMW 1111.
Is the person who manages your Google ads the best? Here's who Google thinks is the best. Google thinks it's Search Kings. Of more than 10,000 Google agencies in the United States and Canada eligible for the honor, it is one company, Search Kings, that is the winner of the Google Ads Impact Award, given to the Google partner with the most impactful Google advertising results. You want to stand out where your customers are online? Switch to Search Kings. Let's be honest, you love your dog more than most humans, so why are they home alone all day binge sleeping like a teenager? Send them to Dogtopia, the world's largest daycare. Dogtopia dogs get serious exercise, averaging 8 miles a day. That's 70,000 steps. No being lying around at home staring at squirrels through the window. They make new friends and can even sleep overnight. And you can watch them on our live webcams like the helicopter parent you are.
Visit Dogtopia.com to find a location or explore franchising on Dogtopia, because your dog deserves a social life too. Navigating life stages, caring transitions offers support for every step of the way. For seniors relocating or downsizing, we offer a compassionate, individualized approach that provides comprehensive solutions. Estate sales, our experts will list your items on our exclusive online platform, CT Bids.
Another one here coming up on the right. Another nice flag.
Best interests at heart. And for those tough cleanouts, we're here to help. Visit caringtransitions.com.
Why it's blowing so hard.
Embracing new beginnings with confidence.
It used to be the stuffy tissues of your nose was really the only way to stop your messy, frustrating nosebleeds. Tampons are the doctor-recommended better option that over 3 million people have already discovered. So what's a tampon? Tampons fit inside your nose perfectly, expand for gentle pressure, and even have a clotting agent clinically proven to stop the bleeding fast. And now tampons are available at Walmart. So ditch the tissue and be prepared for your next nosebleed. Pull into Walmart right now and get tampons in the first aid aisle. Imagine a health plan you actually want to renew, not just have to. For time by providing transparency, fighting before payments, and saving employers up to 33% compared to traditional health plans, we enable companies to take more control of their health plan costs. If advocating for our members makes us health plan rebels, so be it. Get your health plan costs under control at ClaimDoc.com. Got a backyard project or want to take? For over 50 years, VP Racing Fuels has dominated racetracks around the world. Did you know your trailer, chainsaw, or blower is a little cooled race engine, making VP Racing Fuels the logical choice to fuel it? Our specially formulated fuels promote smooth first starts and longer performing engine life. Available now at all your local retailers. Don't let low quality fuels stall your weekend. When it matters most, choose VP Racing Small Engine Fuels. Hi, I'm Tyler, founder at Cozy Earth. Our mission is to transform your 5 to 9, the time that matters most, into the most comfortable part of your day. This starts with the softest, most luxurious fabrics. Our best-selling family sheets are a game changer. Make your 5 to 9 the best part of your day, risk-free with our 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty on all Betty Fast products. Love them or send them back, but trust me, you won't want to. Go to CozyEarth.com and use code MUSIC to save up to 20%. That's CozyEarth.com, code MUSIC. What if you found out that you were giving out more than 20 yards off the tee? How about knowing you could hit approach shots 18 feet closer to your
Severe thunderstorm warning from the county I'm in.
We're the global leader in golf shaft alignment technology.
No kidding.
Perfectly rounder straight. This creates losses in distance and wider dispersion throughout the bag. SST Pure has been on the PGA.
You know, for Lucas County, the one I live in, still about 30 minutes away from home, 32.
Distance and better accuracy in your bag today with SST Pure.
Celebrating America 250. Sirius XM Patriot 125.
It's difficult to discuss a memorandum of understanding that's not public, precise terms of which we do not know. If it's done, it will be signed in 48 to 72 hours. Let's see. Regardless of the terms, this is important. My understanding is that there's another 60-day period of negotiation. I assume that involves the particulars. My view has not changed because the Iranian regime is what it is. That is, it will violate whatever final agreement is signed, certainly after the end of the Trump administration. And I doubt any future president, certainly not a Democrat, will enforce it, which would require military action.
Yeah, I'm staying in the gap, but storm's moving faster than I am. I'm falling behind a little bit. And I'm going to get close to the bottom part right as I'm getting home.
They're the enemy who we want. It's right to attack them.
Hey, Eggsy.
They will hit back. We hit the brakes for 9 weeks.
I was just showing someone some funnel clouds just to the north of me, to the left. We actually had a tornado right across the street from where I was eating, staff of the whole restaurant ran into the cooler. Wind is blowing. A couple of funnel clouds to my left, just to the north.
Here we have the president, cut one, go.
No worries. Still got about a half hour left of the drive. Get home, make sure that the doggies are in the house. It's funny, we're sitting there in the restaurant, everybody's phone started going off with the tornado warning, and then maybe 10 minutes later, it was starting to really blow outside, and the lights started flickering in the restaurant, so I said, hey, do you want me to pay my bill in case the power goes out? So she let me pay my bill, and as soon as she printed it out and I signed it, she's like, I'm in for the cooler. Come with me if you want. And the whole staff of the restaurant went into the cooler. Yeah, I'm fine. You know me, I love storms. Ugh. Yeah, I had Jody FJ in Rumble for a while, but he took off. I think he was my number 19 though for the month. I think I need one more. Yeah, look, it already blew. I'm cutting right between it. Here, let me zoom it in. On the way home. Whoa. See? So pretty much the Maumee, you can see the Maumee River trickling right through there. So man, this wind is fucking blowing.
Just based on what our president said there, it sounds like they did a deal and announced it, and now he's called the heads of state to tell them about it. Does that sound right, Mr. President? That's what it sounds like to me. So, sort of a, if you will, lobbying effort. And any country that objects, you can imagine if Israel had a problem with it, you'd probably feel the wrath. But I don't know. I'm not there.
No, I guess he must have jumped in one other day. It's still at 18.
Again, we can't go over the particulars because we don't have them. But I do know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Should have seen all the debris all over the roads back in Huntington.
So is this going to be a piece in our timeline, or is it going to be something better? What will we get from the regime? Will we get compliance? Self-control? People decide that, okay, we're not going to destroy the rest of the world, okay. We're not worried about the 12th Imam showing up, okay. Allah didn't really tell us to destroy all these Westerners.
This Stanley Cup final is on Sirius XM. Here's a chance to the Carolina Hurricanes. The Vegas Golden Knights. Sunday at 8 Eastern, it's Game 6. Find the channel numbers for the hometown announcers at SiriusXM.com/sports. Hear the national broadcast and talk about the rest of the content on NHL Network Radio, Channel 91 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors jobs are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more.
Yeah.
mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Oh, wow. The lighting to the left was amazing. Wish I could stop and get some pictures with, like, some shutter open pictures. Time lapse.
It's like having a personal financial coach in your pocket. Wiseman speaks human, not bank. Ask questions and get the truth. First of all, we offer Wiseman as a standalone subscription service, so you don't have to switch banks to get it. Go to OneUnited.com today.
Kind of catching it. I'm running into it a little bit on the left, though. A little bit of mist.
The leader in customized synthetic golf greens. Celebrity Greens design an amazing backyard green for me. A synthetic lawn area for my dogs that looks and acts just like natural grass. You can't beat Celebrity Greens' attention to detail and exceptional customer service. Learn how to create a championship putting green in your own backyard. Call the pros at Celebrity Greens 1-888-507-7960 or visit them online at celebritygreens.com.
When an earache strikes, you need relief fast. Introducing Earache RX pain relieving eardrops from Dr. Easy, the makers of Wax RX. With 4% lidocaine, Earache RX eardrops have real medicine. The maximum strength available without a prescription. Strong enough for adults, yet gentle enough for kids. Earache RX eardrops are perfect for the discomfort from swimmer's ear tube. Get fast relief that starts working on contact. Don't wait for an earache to strike. Get the power of real medicine. Get Earache RX at Walgreens today.
Hi, I'm Joe Gill with JoeGill.com. We know that everybody's searching for just that like their own luxury vehicle. That's why I want to tell you about JoeGill.com. At JoeGill.com, you can browse our huge selection of curated luxury vehicles. JoeGill.com is based in Chicago, but we ship cars all over the country. Check out JoeGill.com. That's Joe Gorilla, P-E-R-I-L-L-O, or down 312 BMW 1111. That's 312 BMW 1111. 312 BMW 1111.
Yeah, they will. Thunder will drive them nuts. I'm trying to fucking beat it, but I'm not going to. Message
Corners of your credit card security, putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin would help them do it. Tell senators, say no to the mega stores and Dick Durbin, paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
You already know French Lake Resort for world-class golf and casino gaming. We're also the region's leader in corporate meeting space and hospitality. Chicago, Atlanta, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, you're all within a single tank of gas. So skip the airport this year, drive in, and experience French Lake Resort, home of the 1924 PGA Championship.
I think it already rained here.
FrenchLake.com.
Call 1-800-9 or text INGAMD to 53342. Message and data rates may apply.
She was the sister who went unnoticed. A daffodil might look plain next to a lily, but on its own there is much to be admired. Now, her greatest chapter is yet to come. The most important thing is to be yourself. From the world of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice comes a new BritBox original drama, Mary, You Will Flourish, based on the best-selling novel The Other Bennet Sister, now streaming only on BritBox. Watch with a free trial at BritBox.com.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at AbacusPays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value for your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at AbacusPays.com.
Never gets old. Celebrating America 250. Sirius XM Patriot 125.
The Mark Levin Show, live and national at 877-381-3811. I may be viewed as a hawk today, but one day, whether I'm around or not,
Hello? Hey. Yeah. Sorry, just this is a bad storm. Okay. Luckily, I'm kind of in a gap of it. It looks like we're going to be in the gap of it. But while I'm sitting there eating, a tornado came down across the street. Oh, jeez. And now I've been kind of like chasing it, and then as I'm coming approaching it, there's actually a gap in it that I'm shooting through. But I don't know if it's going to, the southern part of this one front is going to clip the house or not. But it was nasty. The whole staff of the restaurant ran into the back into the cooler. They're like, "Come on!" I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. I love storms." I said, if the windows break, I'll be back there. Are you almost home? Like 20 minutes from home. Okay. Lots of traffic though, because it's construction. It's all one lane. Okay. But there was, I got out of the restaurant. There was like debris. I'm like dodging tree branches everywhere. Nice. It was nuts. It's all. I streamed it. I started the stream right before I left because I wanted to show everybody. Exie says hi. Oh, hi, Exie. All right, baby. I'll see you in a bit. All right. So, are you hearing boom booms? No, dude. I'm sleeping. I have court in the morning. Well, I know that. Easy. But this is word about Garby. Yeah, well, I don't think he's in here, so I haven't heard anything. I don't think it's going on. I don't know. All right. Well, it's to the north of us a little bit, so. All right. Love you. All right. Love you. Bye. Bye.
Because I am certain, as night follows day, that Iran will violate the agreement. As night follows day, I'm certain it will violate the agreement.
Yep, still to the north of me, to the left
You
there.
think, honestly and seriously, and you're truthful to yourself, you know I'm right. So we all want to celebrate something we don't have the details about yet. I understand that. The stock market's up. Oil prices are going down, I suppose. I don't know, I guess. And those are good things. But that's not the point, is it? That would eventually come anyway, I would hope. History's a funny thing. The same window rarely opens twice. You understand what I mean by that? That means when there's a historic decision to make, you go one way or another, and usually you get one chance. Those of you, we had a caller last night that said, look, I don't want boots on the ground. We don't have boots on the ground in that respect.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But if in 7 or 8 years, this regime muscles up with the help of the communist Chinese, and they'll help them, with the help of the North Koreans, and they will help them, the help of the Russians, and they will help them, the help of the Pakistanis, and they have them. They have 7, 8, 9, 10,000.
That's crazy. Someone
imagine.
Just went back and read.
Reach the continental United States.
She said while I was on the phone.
Reach every capital in Europe. But we had underestimated them. And they have nuclear warheads. What the hell are our kids going to do? What the hell will our grandkids do?
Oh, this guy's going to go. Where's he going to go?
I'm just asking you. What will they do? This is the nightmare I fear the most. This is why I keep talking about this. The price of a gallon of gasoline, the stock market's up, the stock market goes up, the stock market goes down. Gasoline price goes up, the gasoline price goes down. What in the world is the next generation going to do? And communist China's on the move. That Axis is on the move. We've got these internal enemies that are weakening us from within. This is our generation that's responsible for stopping it, right? What are we going to do? Then the Iranians are armed up. What do you know? They lied. And what do you know? The Democrat president, or some Republican president for that matter, didn't take the steps necessary to stop them. What do you know? You know enough about history to know that for a relatively long period of time, Winston Churchill, in his own words, was in the wilderness, the political wilderness, the governmental wilderness. He made some mistakes as a minister, but he repeatedly made the point. He saw the Third Reich early on. He saw Hitler early on. He said, they're building up. They're a threat to the continent. No, what the hell's wrong with you, Winston? His party didn't take him seriously. You blew it before. We don't want to hear from you now. You know how articulate Churchill was. He was writing, he was speaking, he wasn't silent, but he was dismissed. He was dismissed. Neville Chamberlain was a very smooth talker, considered a great diplomat. When he came back with that peace agreement with Hitler, and peace in our time, and waved it around, he was celebrated. Celebrated. And Hitler was the only one not celebrating him, him and a few others, and said, no. Do you understand what you've done? Rather than our country getting on a war footing and building up our military and our defenses, we're hiding behind this piece of paper. Hiding behind this piece of paper. Now, here's the thing. Iran is not Germany. It's not Japan. It's not Italy. It's not as strong as any of those countries were. But nuclear missiles, that's the great equalizer. So we've made the effort, and correctly so, militarily to attack them. And we took out their Navy. We and the Israelis. We took out their Air Force. We and the Israelis. Now, there's more to do, obviously.
What are the Israelis?
After 2 or 3 weeks, we wanted to see if we could negotiate a deal. It was a 2-week ceasefire that went to 9 weeks, so it wasn't really a ceasefire because there's a lot of shooting going on, especially from Hezbollah in Israel. We can get into that later or another day. Long story short, this has been a hell of a week. First the Israelis, and we admonished them. 11 ballistic missiles shot into Israel. And we disparaged the Prime Minister and Israel for doing it. They shoot
Whoa, that truck's hitting barrels.
They pay a heavy price.
Wind's blowing so hard.
Well, why is that? Well, that for another day, too, because there's something wrong with that. Both should have been supported. Both. Now we were going to bomb Iran again tonight, and tonight in Iran it is approximately 12:41 in the morning. And literally within a few hours of making that proclamation,
barrel.
we have a deal
Barrel
for memorandum
foundations.
which we haven't seen yet as the public. And
Yeah, this wind is blowing hard. It's tossing my little truck around. Look at it. Ooh, 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 ooh.
The fact is, we can destroy this regime if we want to. It's not.
I'm 2 miles from exiting, though.
It's not.
I'm going to turn left right up into this stuff.
It's not Stalin and the Soviet Union. It's not China now or Xi. It's already on its back. It's already on its back. The military activity we undertook was not intended to destroy it. It was intended to bring it back to the table and get them to sign a deal. Whereas I have felt the continuing military operation should be not to get them back to sign a deal, but to destroy them or an unconditional surrender. But that's not the way it's playing out, is it? And what I'm saying is the next generation, our children, will not have this opportunity.
Oh.
It won't happen again. I'm not a warmonger. I'm quite the opposite. I'm worried deeply about bigger wars with bigger weapons and a draft in which our children or grandchildren will have to go overseas and fight them when we have them exactly where we want right now. I'm telling you the truth. And this is my great concern. President Trump today cut to, I don't think we did cut to, did we, Rick? Cut to ago.
Mr. President, on Iran, how confident are you that there will be a signing this weekend? Because you have come close to sealing a deal, but at the last minute it has fallen apart.
You know what's interesting about this question? My first question would be, when are we going to see the details of the deal? Well, if you're a reporter, aren't you curious about that? Aren't you curious about it, folks? Go ahead.
Maybe this weekend.
And has the Supreme Leader approved this deal, sir?
I understand the answer is yes.
And when the deal is signed, is the United States going to immediately lift the blockade?
Yes, it's true. It's part of the deal.
And
oil prices dropping like a rock.
And sir, have you actually secured the...
But hold on, now when you do that, that means, I assume, that Iran will be free to sell the oil too, right? Unless there's some restriction. Again, I want to see the details, but I assume that's the case. So they'll immediately have hundreds of millions of dollars a day flowing into the regime. You understand? Go ahead.
The discussions about the nuclear scenario and the nuclear negotiations.
Yes, absolutely on that, and nobody's getting close to it because it's buried under a mountain. Basically, those B-2 bombers.
Slow down now. I don't know what that means, but that sounds like we're not going to go in and get it because it's buried from the B-2 bombers before. So that's interesting to me. We used to talk about going in and getting the nuclear dust, right, Rick? Well, maybe we're not. I don't know. I don't know the details, but I'm listening to the response. Go ahead.
Whoa. Whoa.
A nuclear weapon, or will there be more negotiations on that down the road?
We will not have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that. There will be no, which is the whole reason, which is a big part of the reason.
Is that going to be your agreement?
They will not only not have, they will not purchase, develop in any way, shape, or form a nuclear weapon. They will not have a nuclear weapon.
Kind of driving into it now. On the left. Then I'm going to backtrack into it a little closer.
I'll be right back.
I'm only about 4 miles from home, but it's like it's we're only going to get clipped with the bottom piece of the storm.
I'm taking over Sirius XM Hits 1 with Olivia Rodrigo Radio. It's a bad idea, right? To celebrate my new album, You Seem Pretty Sad, but Girls Who in Love.
Share the songs, stories, and everything in between exclusively on SiriusXM. Listen starting tomorrow on Hits One, first in the pop category and in the SiriusXM app, included with most subscriptions.
Well, it is going east, but it's going like northeast. So.
Ohio, a flyover state in 1998, had more cows than computers. Hoping to avoid manure, we picked computers. We wrote code that worked thousands of businesses and built our own data center while the internet was still new. Building a software engineering firm in Ohio was a fight. Mike Keppel here, Patriot Software's founder. That fight earned us the name America's Accounting and Payroll. That's patriotsoftware.com. It's having money.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Do you need emergency cash now? Then you need WeFixMoney.com. WeFixMoney.com can help you get up to $5,000 fast. If you need cash for bills, car repairs, rent, a vacation, or anything else, type WeFixMoney.com directly in your browser.
Yeah, when the stream ends, go back to the beginning and kind of check out some of the debris. With little brights.
The second opinion team. Investing in Walsh Risk, including possible loss of principal, advisory services provided by Henry Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Henry Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Now is the time to visit Pinehurst Resort, the cradle of American golf. Pinehurst is more than fate. Number 2, and thinker site of the
Oh, no worries, man. It was pretty quiet. Me and someone were chatting. I didn't really have. Oh, there's some debris here too. Wind is blowing. Oh, quite a bit here.
This is breaking now. There's something called the Hormuz letter. Iran's foreign ministry directly rejects Trump's new claim that, quote, everyone in Iran has approved the deal, unquote, including the supreme leader saying no one has accepted it, and, quote, no agreement has been reached, unquote, per Fox, one of their news outlets. Any agreement requires the U.S. to, quote, accept every demand, unquote, from Iran, including that it won't surrender enriched uranium or make nuclear concessions, that the Strait of Hormuz remains permanently under Iranian management, and the transfer of $24 billion in frozen funds Iran adds, quote, if it were to yield under pressure, it would have done so a year ago, unquote, rather than after sustained U.S. bombing. I don't know if this is accurate or not.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
But I'm reading directly from it. The spokesperson also denied Trump's claim that the Strait of Hormuz would reopen on a deal signing, saying it, quote, remains closed, unquote, under Iranian authority and, quote, safe passage is not possible, unquote. Now, I don't know what this means.
Yeah, they're going to attack me.
That's why you're going to get whiplash.
All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out. I do appreciate it.
I think this is going to be ever-changing. Ever-changing. At least for now. How do I know?
Folks, have a good night. Not going to turn around. I'm just going to run in before the rain hits.
Do you really want another summer like last
Have a good night.
Barely sleeping.
Probably talk with you guys later. Peace.
Now, a lot of people